I want to talk today about power settings on takeoff. We don't have a lot of time in training while we're training you guys to emphasize taking off at other than non-standard pressure altitude airports. For the most part, we spend our time in places like Memphis, Wichita, Kansas, New York City at JFK, LaGuardia, and so most of the pressure altitudes at those airports are relatively low. However, there are times we fly at higher altitude airports, and so it's important to understand that the 100% CTOT power setting that we use at sea level airports may not apply at some of your higher level airports. So we're going to talk about takeoff power in the Saab today. This came to light the other day. So a friend of mine flying an aircraft and inadvertently set the CTOT a little bit too high and over-temped an engine, and I want to make sure that others don't run into this kind of a thing. Okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the AOM. Saab 340B AOM power settings. We want to make sure that we are in the proper chart for the aircraft we're flying. In this case, it's the CT7-9B. That is the engines for the B model. Takeoff power chart, takeoff power, and then we want to make sure that we're taking off we're using the chart appropriate for what it is we're doing. In this case, ECS off and ES off. We'll talk later in another presentation about the advantages or the requirement by GE to use ECS on cold soaked engines and or first flight of the day, and the disadvantages of doing that at all times. But it's important to note that at sea level, here at 0 feet, normal temperature of about 30 or 35 C, you have all the way up to 100% on your CTOT. However, as you climb up, for example, to 2,000 feet pressure altitude at 35 C, which may be unusual for an airport that altitude, but I don't think so, your maximum CTOT setting in that case is 92%. If I go up to a 4,000 PA airport at 35 C, my maximum CTOT setting would be 85, and technically I can't even get 85% on the CTOT because the CTOT is only gradiated in 2 increments. For example, I can use even numbers only on my CTOT: 80, 82, 84, 86, 88. So 85 would be unattainable. I'd have to set 84, because if I set 86, that would be more than 85, obviously. If you set a power setting higher than what is depicted on these charts, you're probably going to over-temp the engine on takeoff. Now remember that the maximum temperature on takeoff for the Saab 340